Welcome to Newsmakers. My name is Sean Smith. I'm the Assistant Director of Community Relations for Chesterfield County Public Schools. Joining us today, Ann Zyglocke. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you.
It's great to have you with us. For some of our viewers out there who may not...
Sorry, not you.
Okay.
We're going to start over. Pretend that didn't happen.
What happened?
5, 4, 3.
Welcome to Newsmakers. My name is Sean Smith. I'm the Assistant Director of Community Relations for Chesterfield County Public Schools. Joining us today, Ann Zyglocke. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you.
And for some of our viewers out there who may not know you, you're a teacher at Winterpock Elementary. You're a third grade teacher, and you recently were recognized amongst your many achievements as Chesterfield's Teacher of the Year. And obviously that's a process in and of itself, but share with us a little about the day that you learned of that exciting news.
Well, it all started off in the spring, of course, being named Teacher of the Year at Winterpock with a principal who you know very well. And she made it very special because your colleagues nominate you and have nice things to say about you. So that was wonderful in itself. And then the year went on and it was almost over. And she invited us to come to this end of the year celebration. And I truly went unawares, even when I saw Dr. Newsom and that type of thing. And so they announced it. It was a total shock. And then I looked to see my family there, which was so meaningful. But the most wonderful thing that Mrs. Smith did was that the entire third grade was there, all of the students and all of my teammates. And that made it so special because they were so important in my achieving this award.
And obviously it really is a nice award, and certainly to be recognized too, because it is amongst your peers. And I know in thinking through the process, and obviously when you're nominated, a lot of times people will talk about your teaching philosophy, if you will. What would you say really is your philosophy in the classroom?
You know, I was thinking about that the other day, and I really think it probably started when I watched my mother getting ready to go teach kindergarten and first grade. And she would grab things from our house and turn her classroom into a circus big top or stage coaches for the children. And it made me realize, I think, early on that learning should be more about doing than about listening. So I guess my philosophy is that learning is to be experienced altogether as a doing process rather than the children just sitting. So we try to be real experiential when we do it, do a lot of things that are meaningful to them and very active so that their learning is active. I think the other part of my philosophy is that curiosity of children is to be nurtured, and then it's to be satisfied. We need to keep moving on until that curiosity is satisfied. I think that's kind of what I tried to live by each day as I teach.
Now, obviously, the process itself takes place in the spring, and then come the fall, which has already happened, the school division hosts a banquet where all the teachers of the year from each of the schools are recognized, and you certainly were recognized as well. And I had the opportunity to be there, and I listened to some of the remarks you made, and you talked a little bit about some of the letters and the emails that you'd receive from former students. And it's always interesting to hear from a teaching perspective that feedback that you get. But it really, and sometimes it's not until years later that you realize the impact you had that given day on a student or a family. What were some of the responses you had from some people you had taught in years past?
Well, truly that was one of the most meaningful things, hearing from administrators and colleagues, and especially from students and parents. And some of them were very, very simple things. I tried to tell people that night that the words that I kept hearing were, "I'll always remember," or "I'll never forget." And the fact that simple words that we might say to when you had to start wearing glasses for the first time and I made some comment and it made it okay for you that I didn't even remember having said. And those were the kind of simple things I got. And the really special one that I got that I think made me begin thinking in terms of how important our words were from a little girl that I taught my first 2 years in second and then in third grade. And as we added it up, we decided she was probably in her early 30s now. And she sent me this lovely email saying that my words had been so meaningful to her that she'd had kind of a tough time. And besides just some specific things she said about that I told her that she was going to be a great writer one day, she also sent along a note that I sent her 2 years later when she was in 5th grade and graduating from 5th grade. And she said, "I kept this because your words were so important to me."
Right.
And that was, I think, what inspired me to have my special words that night at the banquet. The fact that those words are out there, we say them without thinking, but they sometimes stay with the child long until they're adults.
Well, we thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on your award. And certainly you're a great representative, not just of your Winterpock peers, but also of the school division.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to our viewers, and please join us next time to learn more about Chesterfield County Public Schools.